Hello once again everyone, and welcome to another Meisner Media tutorial. Today we're gonna just edit a photo, go through some things that we find that we want to do, and basically just have a grand old time. So, first of all, picked out this picture. My buds and I were just kind of dicking around in Ocean Way. So you can see Mr. David here looking like a champ, and Joey in the corner, and you know, we got Drew over there, you know, doing his thing. Philip is not all the way in frame. So that's great. So we're going to see what we can do with this. Let's open up Photoshop. Let's see what's happening. Cool. So yeah, the first thing that kind of bothers me about it is obviously Philip not being in frame right here. So I think I might just bring another photo in and stitch him in there like a champ. Let's leave camera raw at its defaults because we got Photoshop. So that one looks like a good one to bring in. Okay. Enter. So go ahead and rasterize that layer, right? And now we're gonna see if Photoshop can automatically align these for us. Going up to Edit, Auto Align Layers. Let's just see if it can do it for us. If not, we can. Yeah, that's not what we need. That's a bad job, Photoshop. So we'll just Control Alt Z for a while until we get back to where we want to be, and then with the crop tool, kind of expand our canvas out just so we have a nice working area. That's a nice little tip instead of going to changing your image size and having to guess around. Alright, so now we'll reduce the opacity of this second layer and we'll just kind of move it so Philip's in basically the same spot. Control T to transform. We'll go to warp. We'll just kind of nudge these things in where we want them. We don't need all of Philip exactly where he is. He'll be good. So yeah, we're looking pretty good. That's looking fine for what we need it for. Hit enter, save that, select that transformation, bring that up to 100% opacity, crop it back into where we want it. Alt scroll wheel lets you move around. You'll see this other crap is bad, so we'll obviously take that out. Come down a little bit. We'll make this lovely. That works. I'm alright with that. Now we're gonna alt click on the make a new layer mask button. I'm gonna get out my Wacom pen. So you hear crap shuffle around on my desk. Hit B to select brush. D to set white as your foreground color. I can hold down Alt and right click and drag, and you can resize right and left. Dragging right and left and then up and down changes your feather, which is super great. I'm not sure how this works on a Mac. My roommate Tyler was having some difficulties with that the other day when I was giving a private Photoshop lesson. So I'll make this a little harder. It's white, make sure we're on the layer mask, and we just kind of paint in Philip. There you go, buddy. Hit X. You can change it back to black, and we'll make this a little harder. X again, change it to white. I'm gonna put my flow up just because, you know. And just, you know, painting away, doing our thing. We'll just fill that part in with some clone stamping. We gotta fiddle with this seam some because that's a little off. But I mean, you know, Philip has a body now, so that's cool. Oh, there's a little bit of nastiness right there. Control 1 to zoom in to the pixel or 1x1 area for, you know. And we'll just do some of this jazz. You know how it goes. Just kind of switching back and forth, doing your thing. This is really tons of this is the part of Photoshop everybody loves. Putting a body back on Philip. Alright, so that's looking good. Now I'm gonna hit Control Shift N, create a new layer. Ooh, I need to rename that. We'll do wall stamp 01, just in case there's some more. S to bring up the clone stamp tool. Zoom in a little bit, you know, resize your brush, hold down Alt to select your source point, and you just kind of paint it in. Make sure that this is set to current and below, or else you won't get anything. That is very important and screws a lot of people up. Now, we can probably just use a healing brush, but I mean, this is just such a simple thing. We can use a stamp. I want to get my flow set pretty high just so we can... Oh, I don't have my flow set pretty high. I meant to have my flow set pretty high so that it wouldn't blur too much. That looks bad. It's nice you can see this little preview inside your paintbrush, so you know that it hopefully won't look as bad. Some stuff there. Just gonna... That looks really bad. Set it to, you can shift right click and change your blend mode, which is a cool thing. So I will change it to lighten, like you see all the kids doing nowadays. That looks pretty bad also. Goodness, hit J to bring up, yeah, J to bring up your healing brush tool. There we go. That I can live with. V to go back to your selection tool, Control 0 to zoom out, reframe it. There's some garbage. Oh, where'd Joey go? Joey? Joey's essential part of this. That I don't like. See, you can shift click on your layer mask to undo it. Guess we'll just redo the crop. That'll be the easiest thing. Get Drew's head back in this guy. And we'll go and paint up there again the same way. B, and white is already our foreground color. Let's size it down. Fill it in. Let's do some clone stamping. I've said before, this is the really glamorous part of Photoshop. You know, skin retouching, liquefy, fixing your mistakes. That's where it's at. Alright, and now, since apparently there's garbage all over these walls, we'll hit J and we'll just do healing brush, Shift J to cycle through those, and I want that one. So, boop, boop, and make sure this is set to content aware, which is introduced in CS 5.5. So if you're, or no, 5, sorry, don't, I'm out of it. Gotta go to class in an hour. Anyway, so that's looking fine. Let's let's do some stuff. Let's go and see if there's any. Oh, Philip's looking fine. Drew's looking fine. David's so close up, we might. I'm gonna fix them. Joey. Goodness gracious, Joey. So Control Shift N, just do RT. We're gonna go J, get that healing brush, and we'll just this guy. Oop, oop. This guy needs to go, and this guy. So we want to make Mr. David look as best as he can. Alright, so we're all good with that. So I'm just gonna select all these layers. I'm gonna go back to my mouse because, you know, hit Control G, set those as a group. Now let's start coloring. Of course, as everyone knows, my favorite thing to do is black and white gradient map over top and reduce the opacity until it looks like that. So I'm gonna do Control Alt Shift E, which like merges all your layers but keeps all the garbage before it. So I can then go filter, other high pass, and make it look like that. Control Shift U will desaturate it. V, go back to selection tool. I'm gonna go and set that to overlay. I'm gonna alt click on a layer mask. Control 1, go around. B, brush tool, resize it, and sharpen David right up. Look at that. Look at that. Before and after. You can probably tell, hopefully in the recording. Alright, so now we have this guy. Oh, look how moody that is. There's already kind of a natural vignette with all these funny lights in the thing. Ocean Way. I guess this is C. I know it's right next to the C controller. I'm not sure if C is just you don't care. So M, marquee tool. Make sure it's on the elliptical marquee. I normally do a different way, but we're gonna do it like this. Then you're gonna do Control Alt R. Just bring up your refined edge, feather up to taste. Awesome. Hit OK. Then Control Shift I will invert that selection. You go to curves, and you just kind of darken that down a smidgen. Look at that. Look how moody we are. You hardly even see Joey anymore. He's so hidden. I'm thinking this is looking pretty fine already. Let's just do a quick secondaries. Just to kind of add a little more moodiness. Switch back to my Wacom pen. X, Alt, Delete to fill in. V, Control 1. B for the brush tool. X, make it back to white. And we just kind of brighten him up a little bit. And even Drew a little bit, just so he's not as out of it. Oh man, that must have been at like F0. There's all sorts of. Gotta fix that. I'm sure somebody was yelling at me, because that is nasty. Nasty, nasty. It's under wall stamp. S. Oop. A little too much. What did I do? Cool. Anyway, back on track. Zoom in. There's even some transparency. Sloppy job, Theo. Sloppy job. J, Shift J, because that wasn't the one I wanted. Neato. Control 0. V. I want a little more than that. Let's apply a lookup table. Why not? Color lookup is what it's called here. Let me just kind of scroll through. Thinking I probably want futuristic bleak. Oh, no. It's normally one of my favorites. That I kind of like. Teal, orange, whatever contrast. Yeah, let's do that. Control Alt Shift E. Delete that color lookup. Do not need to lock. Screw you, pen. Going back to the mouse. Let's reduce the opacity. Neat. And let's take out a little more of that color. Gradient map. That. Cool. I want Philip darker. Sorry, brother. New curves. Neat. B. X. Alt delete. X. B. There we go. That's a little much, but I mean, hey, I'll call that. Let's turn all those off. Control Alt Shift E, bring that to the top, bring those down, and we'll bring it back a little more normal, bring it back to reality. Even a little more. Yeah, just kind of open things up a little bit. Cool. Actually, one more thing. Control Alt Shift E. Control T, transform. We're gonna rotate this like that, and then hold down Alt and drag these. Do that. And this thing makes your computer hate you a little bit. You fill up your cache disks really fast. We're gonna set this to soft light. Whoa, cool. Now look at all that drama. Let's bring it up a little bit since we're in 16 bits per channel, and we can do that. Neat. I'm down with that. Look at that. For just dicking around, not knowing what we're doing, I'm all for that. Cool. 18 minutes. Hopefully you learned something. I'm not kind of rapid fired keyboard commands at you, but that's the way I like it. So, you know, have a fantastic day. Take a break. Eat. I'm probably gonna eat some Quiznos soon. Go to computer science class. Yeah. I'll see you next time. Bye.